I mean, I guess it's like we're mid-conversation, man.
It's just I just wait for you to start laughing, and I'm like,
my gosh.
and then I just hit the record button.
We're mid. I just totally used your floor as a trash can. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. I was like, did you just throw that on the ground? All right, whatever.
Well, it was brown and your floor is wood, so we were mid-conversation.
It's brown and your floor is wood, so it'll mix. You'll never know. You'll never see it. It's totally fine. Oh my word.
The inner working.
Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday.
Hey, hello. Welcome back.
Hey, if this is your first time listening, I know I say this pretty much every week, but here, buckle up. It's gonna carry.
I'm folding my earrings up.
For those of you that don't know, Kim is in full blown like
chef
mode right now. Like,
I am.
She's got. I'm like, are you here to like talk, or are you gonna bake a cake?
No.
Is that thing comfortable?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's like a normal.
This is like a shirt.
I haven't.
You got a fork holder on it.
No, that's not for a fork. It's for my pens.
It says fork. It doesn't say it, but it has a picture of a fork. No, that's the
brand.
Oh.
That's the brand. So the chef coats normally come with pockets.
Okay.
And so on arms.
And yeah, kind of like EMTs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we put like our pens in there. A lot of times the chefs will put their thermometers in there. I mean, not for not forks.
Every chef I see now just gonna slide a fork.
No.
Like, oh.
Normally I have a permanent marker.
Why do you have nothing in there right now?
Well, that I just noticed that there's nothing in there.
You have nothing. There's nothing in your pockets.
Because today is my prep day.
Yeah.
So I have, with my job, I do something called test kitchens where like I show a bunch of menu items. It's really, really super cool. But today is my prep day for that. So it's the day before the test kitchen. And the day before is like when I am doing as much as I possibly can so that when I am showing the customer, all I really have to do is like put stuff together.
Yeah.
And so I like to have a Sharpie with me because then like I can label things. I am like not organized in any other area of my life, but in the kitchen, it is going to be organized. Yeah. And like so many people have like complimented it before, like as I do test kitchens because I do them in Michigan, but then I also can go to like restaurants
wherever you want.
Yeah, and I've had a couple comments, and they're like, "Wow, you were just so organized." I'm like, "Don't think that this is
hold
me."
Hold up. I like the buttons that you can like roll your sleeves up and then you can button it. Like you can button it. Yeah, you got a button on the side of your sleeves for that reason. You didn't know that? So there's probably a little piece of like. Yeah, and then it like folds over and then you button it.
But I'm a 3/4.
Oh, you can't go. You can't go up that high.
I just bought a new chef coat and it is a short sleeve.
White or black?
Red.
Oh, is it like belt colors, like Taekwondo belt colors? Like you get a red one and a black one.
Welcome to our conversation today about chef coats.
You see like a white one, you're like, oh, you're amateur. And then you get like a red one, you're like, oh, hello, sensei.
So I think it's in classic French restaurants.
I feel like white would be like the top.
Well, white is everybody.
Okay.
So the reason why it's white is because a true, this is like back in.
We're going to get to the topic today, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. We might actually. Who knows?
So back in formative like chef-y days.
Yeah.
It was required to wear white because a good chef can go through their entire service without getting a stain on their jacket.
Oh, wow.
In real life, that doesn't happen.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And so everybody would wear white in the kitchen.
Yeah.
The only differentiation, some people have said it's the height of their hats.
Yeah.
The higher the hat, the higher the status. But there's stripes on there's stripes on their jackets. Yeah. And that's how you tell is
kind of like a sergeant or whatever in like the military.
But now, I mean, like there's so many different colors that people wear.
It doesn't matter.
And like if you have like accolades, then a lot of times they put it like on the little neck piece.
What about like a pin? You get a pin?
No, because if you have a pin and it comes undone and goes into people's food.
Oh, that would be bad. Yeah.
So everything is embroidered on.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So it can be any color. But I had no idea the white, like the fact that, you know, you could do a whole service without a stain on
that's showing that you
well done, Jean-Claude.
know your stuff.
You did a good job.
But in reality, like normally, so mine is a zipper.
Yeah.
But normally there's buttons on both sides. And if you happen to get one side dirty, then you flip the panel. And you
cheaters.
So I've done that a couple of times.
You're like, oops.
I have a white one coming in.
Yep.
And
a red one,
and the red one is short sleeves, and I am not a short sleeves chef coat person.
Yeah, it's different.
And so I will be buying some white shirts to put underneath.
And you got the black one on today.
I have the black. I normally have these. I have 2 of these.
Hey,
I started with.
If you're here, Kim's a chef, so just get over it. This is part of the gig.
It is.
It's part of the gig.
That's why we're Chef Kim. It's grease and grace because I deal with a little grease. And Jordan, you're a pastor.
I got the grace.
Just in case you didn't know.
I was thinking before we got here today, there are many similarities between my beard and your hair.
I just noticed your beard. Guys, I promise we're going to get to I just noticed your beard is long.
It is. It's getting ridiculous.
On Sunday, like I got a little distracted because I was like, man, that beard is really taking a life of its own.
I had a jacket on 2 weeks ago because
Jordan has a beard.
Yeah, he does. I had a jacket on 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It's like a blue jacket, or whatever, kind of like a whatever, not a sport coat. Like it was just like a jacket.
Yeah.
So my buddy over in Ohio, he's like, hey, the beard says you can trust my theology. The jacket says you can trust my method. It's like, okay.
So as of lately, Josh has been trying to grow out his beard.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I should comment on it.
I don't know if it's gotten any longer.
He was a savior the other day. He came to my house.
Yeah. Before we get in, Jordan and I both had a week.
Oh man. Yeah. Like I said, we might get to the topic today. This might just be the episode where we just let you know what's going on in our life. Because I got like 2 things that I need to get to. We'll get to mine in a second. Okay. We'll leave people hanging because you had a hawk.
I did. Jordan. Okay, so I work.
It's good when you're already starting to tear up. Like this is gonna get real fast.
So traumatic.
Okay, hold on. I want to pump the brakes just for a second. So this is what I get the other day. I texted you something. Man. I don't know.
There was a whole text thread.
Yeah. So
between me and Josh, what happened?
So I was talking to you. So this came from last week. Mm-hmm. I was like, because if you missed last week's episode, you need to go back and check it out because it was so good.
We have had so many people who have commented.
Really?
I think I've had a lot of people who really appreciate the like intellectual conversations we have. I think probably because they're like, oh, you guys actually have something valid to say.
You have something in your brain. That's nice. But I said, hey, I said, bro, because I call you bro.
Yeah.
I said, I still have that quote you said from podcasting in my head today. So good. The one about you only care about yourself. You said, it sticks. Seriously, such a game changer to realize that. I said straight fire because I don't know why I did that. But anyway, then, okay, that was at 6. Just let you guys know that's at 6:51 p.m. 6:53. In other news, all capital letters. So you're yelling at me. A freaking hawk flew into my window today, Jordan.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so with my job, I have like a lot of offshoots of things. Like
I wish you had security cameras in your house. That would have been so good.
It would have needed to be on me.
Yeah.
So with my job, I also like have to work in my office, and I work at home when I'm in my office.
Yeah.
And my office, I face a wall. Like I try really hard to like get all of the stimuli away from me.
So you don't have like a window, anything like that?
There's a window to my left.
Okay.
And it is a giant picture window.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see everything that's going on outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm like just plugging away. And this was the day that I was like, man, I'm getting things done. I'm going to be writing. I had like 3 menus that I needed to write. And so I was like, I'm going to work on these. Like, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. So I sit down normally. Well, before I do, I work out.
I'm already
laughing.
So
we're like in the flow. Once I get into that seat, I turn music on and I just go to town. And today was a go to town kind of a day. This was in the morning. So I'm typing away.
What time were you at?
It was like 10:30.
All right.
So I had
mid-morning.
I had about an hour I was about an hour in, and all of a sudden, I hear the loudest bang on my house. And like, I don't know what has happened.
So you didn't see it?
Oh, I saw it, Jordan. I saw it because I heard the bang, and immediately I turned, and I just saw feathers.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. And I just kind of sat there because, like, I don't know when this started, but like I start getting goosebumps when I get scared. Like if I get really scared, I get goosebumps.
Some people laugh, some people cry. You get goosebumps.
I get major time goosebumps, and it was just like a kind of thing,
like a Kramer situation. Whoa!
So then I just kind of sat there for a second, and I was like, "Was that a bird?"
Oh no way!
And I couldn't figure out what it was. But here's one thing you need to know about me. I am terrified of like any kind of dead animal.
Oh, really? You can't do dead animals?
I can't do dead animals. Like next week.
Isn't that funny? Like when they're alive, you're like, ooh, I want to pet it. When it's dead, it's like,
when I see the life exit out of an animal, oh, it is bad news. Like next week, I have to go to a like meat facility. And I have told my boss, I kid you not, and this is a reminder, boss, if you are listening, if I see an animal, his name is Jeff. Jeff.
Oh,
Geoff.
He's
a Geoff.
He probably has a white coat.
He doesn't have a white coat. I don't know. He might. But I have told him if I am taken to an area where I see an animal lose its life, I am leaving this job. In all seriousness, I've told him now 3 times that if
way back, we had like a hamburger episode, and I think this came up. This was a while ago.
Did it?
Yeah. I can't remember, but anyway, go ahead.
So we're going to another facility where like there's going to be animals.
Oh no.
And I have told the chefs, like, I'm not watching an animal die. Understand?
You've never seen that happen?
No, because I have. Okay, this is like.
So wait. We're gonna go down this rabbit trail. Hold on. So this hawk dies. Let's go back to that.
No, I didn't know yet.
Oh, because you don't know he's dead. Yeah.
So I texted Josh because I was like full panic, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think that a bird just flew into the window." I had no idea what kind of bird it was.
It happens a lot. Yeah.
But like, this has not ever happened.
Not to me. It might happen a lot, but it didn't happen to me.
I think a bird just murdered itself.
I think it's called suicide.
You're an idiot. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I immediately realized. And I was like, the dogs were kind of like barking at it.
Yeah. Because they know what happened.
They knew what happened.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I need to confirm that it's at least like, I need to confirm that.
Did you look out the window or did you go outside?
Oh, no. I looked out the window, but like I crept towards the window.
Please tell me you took a picture of this.
No.
Oh, no, you miss opportunity all day.
I was so scared. I was so scared, Jordan. So I saw the 2 feathers. There was only 2 feathers. I didn't allow myself to see the whole thing because if I saw the whole thing, then I knew that I was going to start crying. There are a few things that make me. Yes.
You would tear up?
Yes, Jordan. Absolutely. And so I was like, okay, it's just her. We're just going to like keep trying to work away. But then.
What are you going to do? Go out there and give it CPR?
I don't know. So then I have so much anxiety about it. I didn't know I still had like unresolved anxiety about this. So I was like,
this is what we're doing. We're here to help.
I was texting Josh and he was like, go help it.
Oh, the other side is so funny because I talked to Josh about this and he's like, what was I gonna do? He's such like a normal like human being where he's like, I can't help you.
I know.
That was his whole word.
He was like, go help yourself. And I was like, no, I can't do it.
He's often like 2 hours away at some job and you're like, I need you here right now. You're like, I ain't coming home. What are you talking about?
He's like, you're on your own, Miss Independent. Let's see how independent you gonna be today, girl.
You thought you liked to work at home? Guess what? This is what happens.
You gonna learn today. So, I was up a creek with none paddles. No. But then the thought started flooding my mind of like, what if it's her and it's out there suffering?
Oh no.
And so then
you wouldn't put it out of its misery though.
No, but then I was like, do I save it? And I can't handle when animals are suffering.
So you don't know this thing's dead. You have no idea.
I have no clue. But I kept kind of like peeking out of the corner of my eye to see if like I would see a
flapping
bird like
around or whatever,
away.
or if he just flies off. He's like, man, my bad. I hit that window real hard.
I've like we. So I kind of tried really hard. Like I was trying real hard to get back into the flow of the day, but like this bird overtook my memory.
Oh my
and
word!
I for the entire day was like.
Well, how did you know he's dead? Did you go outside?
Like 4 hours later, the feathers.
Shut your mouth. You went out.
I was like, no, I didn't go out there. Still, I'm not going close.
4 hours have passed, and you don't know if this animal's dead or not.
I know. And so those 4 hours, I was like pacing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. I was like, who can I call? Who's gonna take this bird? I can't call Josh. I can't call anybody. Who do I call? My brothers are in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
My dad is up in Chicago working.
Yeah,
like nobody can save me.
Nobody's coming for you.
I was like so close to going and trying to find a neighbor. Like I should have gotten Dave. Dave's like 2 houses.
Oh yeah. We know Dave.
But Dave would have been like, you.
Yeah, he would have. Dave's a great guy.
I for 4 hours was like, oh my goodness, it's still alive, and it's hurt. I need to get it. And what do I do? Do I take it to like a bird sanctuary?
Yeah,
I was freaking out about it for like 4 hours.
So when do you find out he's dead?
In 4 hours, I looked and the two feathers
there.
Were still there, and I was like,
no.
oh no. So then I couldn't like get past the thought of like I watched it lose its life.
Yeah, and you also, it might not have, you could have saved it, but you didn't go outside to resuscitate said bird. I don't know how you resuscitate a bird though.
I don't know, but I would have. No, I wouldn't have tried. I don't know.
No, you wouldn't
turned into like, I turned
so
into
who goes and gets the bird?
So Josh doesn't.
By the way, he's home. By the time he's home, no.
Because Josh didn't come home until like 8 o'clock at night.
So who goes and gets the bird?
My dad. I called my dad.
What a saint.
Like 5:30 because I was like, okay, this bird is still here. I have not been able to get anything done.
You haven't gone outside.
I haven't gone outside. I needed to mow. I wanted to mow. The dogs, I was like, you're not going outside because you're going to go and try and find this bird. And if you try and eat this dead bird, then I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. Because the dogs would definitely like grab a hold of it.
Totally. Like Basil, she's my puppy. She would just like treat it like a toy and like flop it up. And I can't
by that
handle
time, you're like a complete mess.
My nerves are shot. So I call my dad and I'm like, Dad,
please come save me.
That's all I had to say was Dad.
So he comes.
And he starts laughing.
He boxes it up.
No, he does not, Jordan. He chased me down the road.
Oh no!
With the dead.
Why did you go outside? You should have just let him do his business and like said, "Okay, peace be with you."
I don't know why I went outside. I was on the front of the house. The bird was on the back side.
So
of
he
the
chases
house.
you around with a dead hawk.
He chased me down the road, and I was like, "Dad, no!"
How big is this hawk?
I don't know because it was in a trash bag.
Oh my word!
But like, so then like I come back, things are good, and I was hesitant to come back. I know my dad well enough, and so I was like kind of waiting.
This has to be over.
Yeah. So I kind of held back for a second until I saw that his hands were empty.
Yeah.
So we're back up to the house and we're talking, and there was my other dog Gannon loves my dad, and so like the whole time Gannon is like,
yeah, he wants a piece.
So I go to open the door, and my dad has hung the dead bird on our door. I was like, I cannot.
It's like Christmas morning for your dad. Like it was an easy gift.
He was having a good time. So he takes it off of the door and chases me down.
Oh no.
The road. It was like the most.
What a horrible like day for you, but at the same time, like your dad's like, this is the greatest. This is the best. I'm having a great time.
And like the neighbors at this point had heard me screaming twice, so they thought that I was getting murdered. It was so much. I am aware that it is completely ridiculous. Just clean up the bird, but like you need to understand that like I have to. Well, we don't go anymore, but we used to go to rodeos.
Yeah.
And when they do the calf.
Oh, yeah.
I walk away.
What?
Because it hurts the calves. Like
it does not hurt the calf.
The poor little babies.
They're fine.
They don't know what's happening. They're just getting chased all of a sudden, and then they get all of their legs roped up. That's so mean.
I don't know.
No, you can ask my mom. Like she would have to walk me away because I would start crying. I don't run over woolly worms in the road.
Are you for real?
I don't run over. I kill. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I kill flies.
Okay.
Mosquitoes and ants.
That's it.
If there is a spider in the house, I will. Come here, little boy.
You just let him do his thing.
I let it. No, well, yes, but like also I'll like catch it. Like if it's bothering the boys, I'll catch it and I'll take it outside. I don't like killing things. It's like they're just out there living their lives. They're just out there doing their thing. So I don't kill animals, and I am aware because at this point you guys are all like, didn't you at the beginning of this episode say that you were a chef? Yes, I am a chef. I work with meat. I have eaten meat.
But it's already dead.
It's already dead.
You don't even have to deal with it.
I would not survive in like prehistoric times because you have to hunt and gather. That's not, I'd be like, you guys want to go and find some berries? Or?
So I said, I sent you this video of this guy who... I told you, I was like, this happens a lot, like birds fly into windows or whatever. And I said, there's a video, it's on YouTube. It's about like these hundreds of birds that die crashing into windows at the McCormick Place in Chicago.
I would not exit the McCormick Place. That would be my permanent.
There's like hundreds of them. But anyway, the best part is they interview this guy and this guy is like dead serious. He's absolutely serious about it. He's like, well, when birds are migrating, they can't fly through windows.
They can't fly through windows.
No.
Only when they're migrating.
Only when they're migrating. Our birds. It was such like a cringe moment. And the reporter lady, she like missed it. And she just keeps going. And I'm like, whoa.
Rewind.
Hold on a second. What just happened?
Apparently, maybe that was the problem, was the hawk was migrating.
I guess.
I don't know. It was so traumatic.
So anyway, your husband comes over, like, well, he doesn't come over yet. Him and I are talking about
on
this
the phone.
hawk. Yeah, we're talking about this because I had a light switch that like kicked out or whatever. And we're talking about like theology and all this other stuff. And I totally shocked myself because I was trying to get it to work. And I was like, you would have gotten a huge kick out of it because I was like, yeah, man, it's kind of like, oh! He's like, you have to know Josh, but he's like, are you okay?
He is like the most even keeled guy. Like he does not change emotion
ever.
So like,
anyway, he comes over to like flip the switch. He changes the switch for me, and the best part was like we're talking about this hawk, and he's like, "What'd she want me to do?" It was so like even keeled. You and I have had this huge dialogue about how funny it was, and he's like, I don't know what to do about that.
It's dead.
Anyway.
I was so
longest intro ever to our podcast.
I heard you guys on the phone, and he comes back inside and he starts laughing, and he's like, Jordan, shut.
Oh yeah, he thought it was hilarious. Like,
I wasn't sure who he was on the phone with, to be honest. Like I didn't recognize your voice. And
he's like, do you want me to come over and install that switch? And I was like, I don't feel like we need to even talk about that. Like that is like, yes, I do, 100%.
So we both had some moments this week.
Okay, so anyway,
but
welcome. Yeah. Hey, sometimes it happens.
How many minutes
are
we in? 20?
yeah, you're good. So yeah, I don't even know how to segue from that, but I'm going to try as hard as I can.
It's going to be a hard turn.
You are listening to Grease and Grace. My name is Jordan. Kim is across the table from me, obviously. Kim is a chef. I'm a pastor, and every week we take on a new topic, and we look at the greasy and graceful aspects of life, and sometimes we just talk about some of the things that hit. So Grease and Grace of birds are, hey, great when they're alive, not so great when they're dead. And if you want to, really knock it out of the park this year for Kim, just put a bunch of dead stuff on her doorstep.
The amount of anxiety that causes.
Does that bother you? Like, I have a giant buffalo that's stuffed.
It's already dead.
Oh, okay.
I have to.
See it. When you see it die, that's the problem.
When I see it die, yes. And like sometimes like if the animal still has a face.
Oh my word!
Because like I've broken down like entire goats.
You'd have to. I mean, you're a chef, right?
Yeah, like and we have like a meat fabrication class.
Yeah.
Where like a half of a cow
you walk
was
through, like,
brought in, and like we have to do all of the cuts and we learn about it.
Yeah.
We had a whole goat but it's like something with like the eyes or something where like
that's a problem.
When I see that it still had like a face. Oh. So,
all right.
But please don't take heads off of things and bring them to me either. Like,
I'm telling you what. Sometimes it's a current event. Sometimes it's pop culture. Sometimes it's birds. Regardless, we put our little twist and our little blend on it. Today, we're not talking about birds, and we're not talking about getting electrocuted, which is the worst feeling in the world, by the way.
It is.
It's a horrible feeling.
It kind of like rings through your body.
I hate it.
What if it was... There's people who get like electrocuted.
So like I won't even go into that. Like, yeah. So anyway, I'll hit on it for 1 minute. So in the police department world, they have tasers. And so...
Oh, you have to get tased?
You do not.
Oh.
It is an SOP that standard operating procedure, depending on the department, if you have to or if you not. But there's been so many like heart issues with people. Like if you get tased, essentially like something could happen and ends up being a liability. So they're like, you don't have to do it. Well, there's a ton of peer pressure in that world, right? So like if one guy does it, they're like, oh, you should do it or whatever the case is. I have no qualms about being like, nope. And people are like, come on, do it. I mean, I'm looking at a decade in law enforcement and people are like, you've never been tased? I'm like, no, hard pass.
Yeah, no thanks.
Why would I? I've been pepper sprayed. I know what that feels like. That was horrendous. But if you're saying it's 5 seconds, like, no, hard pass.
No, I've seen it. I've seen people get tased.
I hate that feeling.
Painful. Ugh. There used to be a guy in our congregation. I don't think that they come here anymore. I think they moved.
Thanks for that reminder.
He was like electrocuted from like a fence, and it went through like his hand and out his other hand or something, or like out his leg or something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
That sounds so painful.
Well, the best part is like your husband, when he's changing the switch, is like not even nervous about it. And I'm just sitting there like probably like you with the bird. I'm just in there. I'm going, please put rubber anything on. I don't even care. Boots. Do you have rubber boots?
He comes in full chainmail.
Yeah. Like I'm like all right, look at me. I like electricity. I'm like, man, like, and he is just like pulling wires off and like, I'm like, Josh. And he's like, you talk theology. I'll do the electrician. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like, I'm good with that. Like, it's totally fine.
Yeah, sometimes when I watch Josh, like, actually do his job.
Crazy.
Like, our puppy just chewed.
It's crazy.
Like, 2 tiny little wires on our fan, and so he had to, like, switch it out. And it was, like, he took, like, 2 minutes, and he was like, and it's fixed. And I was like, what?
You are a sorcerer.
Yeah. That's why there are professions for people like him and professions for people like you and me.
Good grief.
Yeah, it's impressive to watch him sometimes.
All right, Kim. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about politics.
Oh,
today.
Man. That's a bump. We might need to make this a 2-part then.
Yeah,
because
it might.
We're not we'll see. We'll see how we go.
We'll see where we go. Okay, so this needs to be, we need like a, what's the word? What's the word?
Definition?
No, a disclaimer.
Oh.
No, you're going to do the definition. If you don't know, Jordan always gives a definition. If this is your first time listening, I am so proud of you for making it this far.
If you're still with us, like, good for you. People are like, this is the best episode ever. We're like, is it? Is it?
So how we have done our podcast we're almost at a half a year now, but
what?
We're almost.
Shut your dirty mouth. All right.
So Jordan has the definition of whatever topic it is.
Yep.
Then we grease it.
Yep.
Which is like, we talk about all of the bad things about it, the things that drive us crazy, all of the hot takes on that topic. And then we move over to the grace side, because we always like to end on a high note. We always like to end on a good, because there is still good
100%
inside of everything in this world. So we like to try and find the good. So it might, we've been talking for 30 minutes.
Yeah. We're solid in this. So we're going to see where we get.
But we're talking about politics.
If we need to come back and revisit it, we totally will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe after the election.
Oh,
maybe after the election.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But
let me define
needs
it
to be before we get anywhere in disclaimer. This is not us talking about our political views.
No.
This is us talking about politics as a whole.
100%.
So if you are here to listen and nitpick about what we believe in politics, then you have found yourself in the wrong place. You've listened enough to birds and electrocutions. Go find another place to go, because we're not here for that kind of, like, we don't need anybody like riling us up trying to get political views out of us.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that was nice and clear, because we're in some politics.
We're in it. Do you want me to define it?
You go.
Okay, here we go. All right. Politics is the set of activities that are associated with making decision in groups or other forms of power relations among individuals, such as the distribution of status or resources. The branch of social science that studies politics and government is referred to as political science. Politics may be used positively in the context of a political situation, which is compromising and nonviolent, or descriptively as the art or science of government, but the word often also carries a negative connotation. The concept has been defined in various ways, different approaches, and fundamentally differing views on whether it should be used extensively or in a limited way, and on whether conflict or cooperation is more essential to it. That's like a really broad definition. Basically, if you kind of boil it down, there's two different veins. The way that I see it, it's politics in regards to like how things are set up and structured, and then you have political systems, which are essentially like how people work in those systems.
So like the government and how governments are set up, is that?
Government would be like a branch of it, but there's different there's politics in regards to different areas, and this is a huge topic. So like we're taking like all these big things and like trying to put them down into like these really fine things. But like, so basically, you could have politics in church. You could have politics in the chef world. You could have politics in how government is set up. Mm-hmm. It's just a way that decisions are made and a way that power is essentially distributed among a group of people.
Yeah.
That would be the way that I define it.
That was a good way to define it.
Yeah, so like oftentimes when you hear somebody say like, I don't want to talk politics, they're saying they don't want to talk about Republicans and Democrats and what's currently transpiring in our government. But really, if they were honest about it, you have politics in your job, you have politics in your home, you have politics like all over the place, because it's just the power relations among individuals and how decisions are made.
Ooh.
So like for you, like in your house, you would say like, there's politics because who makes the decisions?
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, this person does, or whatever the case is.
Our kids.
Let's just be honest.
That was a good definition.
So we could go a variety of different ways here.
I say...
like what...
I say that we kind of dive into like what everybody thinks of.
I was going to say like the normal thing in politics is going to be in regards to what we have set up in America. Mm-hmm. And if you're a foreigner listening to this, like, welcome. I'm sure you have like some sort of government.
We're not all as crazy.
But when we talk, like, we're probably talking like American politics, which is like these three camps: Republican, Democrat, independent parties. And those would be like the three major ones. I know there's more and stuff like that, but in regards to those, that's where everybody's mind goes. So
and we're in that season right now. Like
100%.
It is election season.
Less than a month away.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you hear this, you'll be even closer.
That's very, very true. Yeah, I didn't think that it was, but like this year, honestly, has just like zoomed by. Like in 100%. My head, we're still in like May.
100%.
I don't know why.
I'm still mad that it's cold outside because I'm like, it's July. Why is it so stinking cold outside?
Crazy. We are less than a month away from the presidential.
We are all
election.
over the place today. It's crazy.
Really
yeah. So Kim, you start. Like, what's your grease with politics?
So I feel like politics now versus politics in like anytime before the 1950s are two very different.
Go back and watch the presidential debates from the 60s and 70s. They're all on YouTube. You can see them all.
Yeah.
And look at the ones today. It is a total different story.
I feel like as of now, because we have reality shows and everything is like at our fingertips, you know, the like debates and things now have turned into more of a show than it has turned like a Super Bowl almost. Instead of like actually talking about issues within America that need to be spoken about. I mean, like, what was it? The last one, it was a lot of like, he said, she said, no, I didn't. You didn't.
Just answer the question. Like, I don't care what side of the fence you sit on. If I ask you a question, answer the question.
Yeah. Stop telling me what the other person did and how the other person, you know, is incompetent. And, you know, like I don't care. Tell me what your views are. That's what the debates are for, is for us to hear both sides. And it's really hard to like.
It's really hard.
It's really hard to get through. And I'm like, I remember, what was the first political debate televised? Was that the JFK?
Well, they've been televised a lot, but I don't know what the actual first one was. But anyway, regardless, go ahead.
Well, because there was one, I feel like it was JFK, where I don't remember who he was running against, but he was very like, is coiffed the word that I want to use?
I don't even know what that means, but good for you.
Very put together. Like he didn't break a sweat or anything like that. I think that's the word, coiffed.
Yeah.
COIFED. I'm pretty sure. And then whoever he was running against was like a hot mess, super sweaty.
That is crazy. You knew that word. Anyway, go ahead.
See, I told you a couple of episodes.
Carefully arranged in an attractive way.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I know some words.
I know stuff.
Josh always tells me that I use like old English words. He's like, who says that? And I'm like, I say that.
Chefs with white coats.
So anyways, so I think that part of the reason that he won was because of how he presented himself under the pressures of the debate. And a lot of Americans saw that and were like, we want somebody who presents well, even under fire. Kind of a thing. And I'm pretty sure that was the debate that won him in office. I mean, I'm sure that he had like other views and stuff like that people liked, but I feel like now it's
so different.
It's just like watching siblings argue.
It's so true. That is my greasiest thing. Like that is like the number one when I sit there and I'm like, so here's the deal. Like it's a biblical concept, I understand, but let your yes be yes and your no be no. That's what I constantly come back to. And it's like, if I were to look at you and say, this hamburger, is it good or is it not good? And let you actually try it. You would look at me and say, or let's just say like Angus beef. Like I'm like Angus beef. Do you like it? Do you not like it? You look at me and you're like,
well, it depends on what the bun looks like. And you gave me a bun last week that was stale, and that bun didn't showcase the flavor.
We're not talking about the meat. We're talking about the bun. Yeah. Like it drives me crazy. Or it's like, food is an interesting thing to talk about. You go even higher than that, you know, like, and there's multiple places to get. Do you like Angus beef or do you not like Angus beef? And it's
almost like an art that they have perfected, or their speed. I don't know how. Like, I don't know how it all works necessarily, but like to successfully dodge a question 100%. And still make it sound like you answered it is like, that's an art.
But you know what? Like, it's funny because we look at politicians all the time and we think that like they're the only ones that do it. Pro athletes do this all the time. There's politics in pro athletes. So like they get done with the game, they go to the thing, they ask the questions, it's the same answer. I'm like, why are we even asking anymore? why do I could tell
you? How do you feel about your win? Well, that team
played
really
well.
everybody
did their part.
It wasn't just me. I'm so glad that I have this team behind me.
What?
The coaches are really, and it's like,
dude, you didn't answer the question.
That's not the question.
Yeah. And they do this all the time. And now we've started to like increase interviews too. So like we're asking people questions like all the time. Like guys will come off in the middle of a quarter or a period or whatever the case is, and they'll be like being interviewed, and they'll say, "Hey, how'd that first quarter go?" And they're like, "Everybody's on the same page. We're ticking. We're gonna go in there and we'll definitely discuss the highs and the lows, and those were all present."
Can you discuss those highs and lows with me?
There's a video out there. It's so funny. It's one athlete and another athlete, and it says like at the bottom, like one of these athletes is coached and like of what to say. And like the one guy, he's like, "How'd you feel about tonight's game?" He's like, "Everybody played really well. We did what we executed." And then they're like, "How do you feel about the game?" He's like, "Man, I played like crap." And I'm like, that kid,
yes,
interview that kid all day long.
Yes,
yeah.
Because like that's what people want. Like
100%.
Be authentic. And like when it comes to politics, I'm like, people are voting for you for what you're standing for. And when you are standing there and just like dodging questions all of the time and like telling us what the definition of the issue instead of where you stand with the issue,
100%
is so unbelievably frustrating.
It's infuriating to me because that's why I don't watch like debates or anything anymore. People be like, "Did you catch the debate?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Because that you can go to YouTube now and some guy, whoever that is, will like break down like the debate and like he's like, here's the 2 minutes that mattered." And on both sides, he's not like for he's like after all the clapping was done and all the other stuff was done, he's like, here's the 2 minutes that you needed to hear. And I'm like, why did we even have a debate then?
Yeah. This year I have not watched any of the debates because it just gets to be too much.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember another thing that I'm like greased out about is I am a huge proponent of treating people with respect. And
birds.
What are they called? The mediator?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? The
moderator.
The moderators.
Yeah.
Yes. Once the moderators like start asking questions and the debate starts to kind of get a little bit more heated, respect is thrown out the window.
100%.
And it drives me absolutely crazy. I cannot, if there is one thing that gets me so angry, it is when people are disrespectful to undeserving people. And so like the moderators will be like, you have 5 minutes to answer this question. And then the moderator is sitting there 8 minutes later and they're like, "Okay, President, we're done. Please move on. Please allow your opponent." And they're still talking, whoever
it's like, dude, knock it off.
You had your 5 minutes and you filled it with crap. So flush it and let's move on to the next person. Like, I
wish the moderator could be like, "You didn't answer the question." Like, that would be so good. Like,
put me in there.
Nope.
Put me in there. You can guarantee I'd be like, "I'm sorry. Last time I checked, the question was, how do you feel about foreign?"
You need like taboo buzzers. You know what I mean? Like, beep, beep,
that was wrong. Let me re-ask the question for you. Do I need to simplify it?
And you have 30 seconds to answer the question, or else like if you go past 30 seconds, we just taboo buzzer you. Like, no, you're going on the other trail again. Like, I asked you this.
Hey. Stay. Like, hey. Listen to me. 1, 2, 3.
Focus.
Eyes on me.
Focus.
Hold a bubble. Like, treat them like it. But it is. Oh my goodness. I would love to be on there to just be like, "Well,
nope.
That wasn't what I asked. Do you listen to your mother this way?"
It's so true, though.
Like, "Ernest, is this the way you treat your mother?" Have you ever seen that? Anyways. That got real crazy real fast.
Yeah, it did. You went for I don't care. It's fine.
Okay, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No. Like, I would agree. Like, those are my... I think, if anything, it boils down to, like, pat answers. Because there's so many pat answers where I go that... I understand there's a place for it if you're still processing. So like people in church, for example, will come up to me and be like, they'll ask a question where we're still like as leadership dialoguing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they definitely want an answer. So I just look at them and I'll be like, at this time, like we're processing that, and I know it feels padded. And I'll tell people that. I'm like, I know this probably feels like an extremely political, like padded answer, but it's all I got to give you right now. And I can't give you any details on what this is going to look like because those haven't been formulated. And there's definitely details that have been formulated that just would do you a disservice. So like those, like putting those in your lap are not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
And some people respect that. Some people don't because they just want to know.
Yeah.
So you just have to let people live with that. But when you totally like duck somebody's question, that drives me crazy.
Yes.
It drives me absolutely crazy.
Totally agree.
Like even in your world, I can just see somebody being like, how's the duck? And you're like, menus are a very are a roadmap.
We went on a journey. We really wanted to take you through.
And let me tell you
the
something.
Forest today.
There are multiple animals that the roadmap leads us to. Many of them are good. Some of them.
Could you imagine if that was like how it was?
Oh,
like if you just went to,
word!
Like, a Texas Roadhouse, and you were like, "So how's the fillet?" And they're like, Well, you see, it's on this menu that we have beautifully crafted by creating it.
Did you know the paper has been given to us by?
I'd be like, I'm out.
I'm out of here. Can we get some rolls?
You haven't brought those to me. That's really what I came here for.
I'm here for the rolls.
The butter. And
I need a glass of water and I want the free rolls. I'm not even going to pay for anything.
I'm just going to drown my sadness in these yeasty rolls.
It drives me nuts.
Is there anything else that you, I mean, the other thing, and I feel like
you're on it today.
It's like a weird thing. I think the first president to do this, maybe. And I was
that
young,
we know of. Yeah.
But no, I'm pretty sure was like the cool factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a like 60-year-old man. You're not hanging out with 50 Cent. You're not hanging out with, you know, what are the new rapper. You know what I mean? Like
there are guys in your cabinet that you're like, I don't think they should be there. Yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure it was Bill Clinton who he played the sax.
Actually, that's really funny you bring this up because, and I'm gonna let you finish.
No, you're fine. I'm trying to like, who was that guy?
Not to Kanye Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish.
That was a cool thought, Kim. Here's mine.
No, So I was listening to this pastor the other day, which I don't do a whole lot of. I don't listen to other guys for multiple reasons. Yeah. None of them I'm going to go into right now. But there were two guys that were at his church, and he called them out in regards to the fact that they were his friends. He's like, hey, I have two friends here today. One guy was a finance guy, and the other guy was on like the market, like stocks,
like he's single.
No, like stocks.
All right, bachelor number 2, come on up.
But it was so weird. He's like, I have two friends here today. He's like, this guy, he's a master of finance, and this guy, he's in the stock market world. And I just thought to myself, like, why did you do that? Like what? And say, like, why are they there? Like, are they funding your church? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to get people to go to them? Like,
I don't get it.
What?
It's like name dropping, but like,
yeah,
nobody needs that. Like,
I mean, that'd be like my buddies come in to church, and I'd be like, I tell the congregation what they do for a living. You don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's one thing to be like, hey, my friend Mark's here. He's from Ohio. Like, just wanted to say thank you for what you do, you know, supporting us from a distance. That makes sense. But to look at it and be like, he is a donut shop.
Donut shop owner.
Yeah.
Did it pertain to like his
No,
sermon?
not at all.
Super
he
weird.
never came back to him. I was like, I'm out.
That's so strange. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, what are these people? No. What was I cannot remember. He was like on like In Living Color or something. It was 90s. He had He had his own like show.
Is it the Wayans guys?
No, like his name starts with an R. I keep wanting to think like radio.
It's fine.
Anyways, so Bill Clinton went on to this guy's like show and was like, I'm gonna play a saxophone and look how cool I am. Who was it? Are you looking it up right now?
I am, but
he played the saxophone and like that gave him cool points. I don't know. Is there such a thing in an election as cool points? You know what I mean? But I feel like that was kind of like the first grounds into like adding like.
Was that Jamie Foxx?
No,
it wasn't Jamie Foxx.
He's like.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, so I feel like that was kind of like the first step into like now where I'm pretty sure that there was like a full blown concert at one of the conventions.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes, there was, because I remember seeing it and I was like, what is this? Like, it seemed like it was like an award show or something like that. And I remember Pink was singing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the heck is this?
Actually, so Stevie Wonder, Little John, John Legend, all of those people have been at...
what are you doing?
Yeah, they've been at political conventions.
What are you doing? Like, stop. I don't care about your new music that's coming out on your new album. I'm learning about the presidents. Get off the stage.
It's kind of their way of like showing their support. Like, hey, like, we'll do our thing.
I don't care about your support. Once again, it's the same thing that I had with Beyonce last week. Like, sit him across the table at me. I don't give a rat's butt about any of your support with this stupid politician. He's an idiot or she's an idiot just for bringing you on, thinking that they're going to get cool points because these people were rapping on his stage. Sit down. I can't. I guess I'm real fired up about that.
I've ever seen you like. I literally put my head down for a second. I was like, "It's fine. Like, I'm okay."
I can't. Like, I don't care about any of that.
I agree, 100%.
The true issues. If you are trying to fill a time slot, then like get on stage, have your 1 hour of like name calling one another, and then have the next hour be like the actual conversations.
Yeah, it's so tough because I see it in the church world, and I think we so desperately want to grab a hold of the younger generation that we will do whatever we can.
They don't want to be grabbed.
Right. They don't. You're correct. Like, we will do what we can to kiss culture. And I've always said, like, we don't do that. Like, we don't kiss. Like, I'll just take like our church. We're biblical. We're going to do what the Bible says. That's our whole goal, is to live out Scripture in a way that's tangible. Now, we're going to help you, like, in regards to understand this, like, by illustrating Scripture and applying it. That's one thing. But there's just so, like, it's like I don't want to say be you, because that's not like the correct word. But I think it's like,
stay on task.
There you go.
Stay on the task at hand.
That's a good way to put it.
And people will appreciate that. The right people will appreciate that.
There's a couple politicians, and I'm trying super hard not to name drop here, but there's a couple politicians on both sides of the fence. And when I say politicians, I mean Republican and Democrat, that I look at and I'm like, that guy's genuine. Like, that's who he is. Like, and it passed, and I'm not going to say like current because I like our current situation. I don't know.
It's a hot burning
I don't
mess.
know. Like, I don't know who you are behind closed doors. But there's I'll just say it. Like, so I remember this was when Obama was in office. He had a couple of guys come to the White House, and they were shooting hoops in like the basketball court out back.
Oh yeah.
And you could tell from watching him that he did that. Like,
it wasn't like he was like, this is my first time.
No, like, he is like, his shot from the 3-point line, I was like, that guy plays basketball. Like, he legitimately, that's his sport. And you could tell, like, he was just super relaxed, and they were having an interview, and it was fine. And there's been Republicans have been in the same category with different things. But, like, it was interesting because I was like, he's not trying to be somebody else. Like, he legitimately probably goes out and shoots baskets to think or just to blow off steam or whatever. Yeah. And so, like, that's my thing, is I sit there and I go, like, just who are you? You know what I mean? Because what I see right now is not who you are.
Yeah. I very much the same. Like, I have on multiple occasions now, because I think it was Obama that I was officially able to vote. Who was he running against? Mitt Romney?
Which time? Because didn't he get elected twice?
Yeah, but the first time that Obama was elected into office I was like 19, I think, and so like that was the first time that I was like, I'm gonna kind of hone in a little bit more and like really see what this is about, because now it's something that like I might have a say, you know. And I remember talking to Josh multiple times and just being like, I don't know like who these people are. Like I care. Yes, I 100% care about your stances, you know, on various issues.
John McCain.
Yeah, that's right. I care what you have to say about certain things.
Sure.
But more so I care about who you are as a person, because who you are as a person is representing our entire country.
Right.
And that I understand is like a huge weight to carry on your shoulders.
Or organization or home or business or whatever the case is.
How you run your things is going to show other countries who you are going to be dealing with, like how we are to act. And I think that has 100% been lost, because like I've listened to like Josh's grandma, and she's like, politics are not the same as they were.
No,
like,
not at all. Not at all. My dad says that all the time.
And I think that it is because then it was their personalities that were kind of shining more through. Now it's just a stupid show.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's funny because Bethany gets this a lot. Like, so Bethany will get people who are either new or somewhat new to the church, and they'll come up to her and they'll say, "Is Jordan like that all the time?" And she'll look at him and she'll say, "All the time." She's like, because like I'm intense, so some people will be like, "Is he that intense at home?" Like, and she's like, "Yeah," or like, "I like to joke around to a certain extent, you know, or whatever," and but they'll be like, "Is he like that?" And she's like, "What you see is what you get." Like, he is like that 24/7, 365. Like, he is passionate and like that's just it. And it's comforting to hear that, because who you are in the dark should be who you are in the day, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like it especially in regards to politics, there are some people where I go, can you just show me who you really are? And I think there's be some people that would go, they do. And again, we're not picking like one side or the other, but I would push back and I would say, really?
Yeah.
Like, real are they though?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think that's why you and I get along honestly so well, is because I'm very similar in that like I don't change who I am.
Yeah, I would tell people that. I'd be like, Kim's like that all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I might be slightly calmer at home, but I mean, like,
I'm
not, because like I'm like, no.
Not when birds fly into the window. Yeah.
No, because like I was just dancing, and Josh was like just standing in our kitchen, and I was just like dancing to a song, singing, and he just stood there.
He's like, what is happening?
He's like, I just let it pass, and I'm like, okay, bye.
Kids are just staring like, what
like everybody's
happening?
used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want authenticity. Just like be yourself.
Here's what I think we should do. I think you're correct. I think we should put a pin in this conversation, because we definitely blew like the first 20 minutes or whatever, which is totally fine. Like, so what here's my vote. Politics.
I see what you did there.
Here's what I say we do, because we just started into the grace thing. I would say we make this part 1.
Yeah.
And then after the election, because we did it for the Olympics.
Yes.
Let's go back and revisit it and go, okay, like, here's the graceful side of things. So we'll kind of leave you guys with this cliffhanger a little bit. Like, yeah, these are like 2 of our greases. We'll give you some more, and we'll dedicate a little bit more time to it, but then also give you our graces. And I think it will be good to see like what happens after to see kind of what transpires, because we don't know.
We don't know what'll happen.
Yeah. I will give you a real like sliver of, I don't know if this is a grace or not, but I would agree with you 100%. Politics are totally different. Like, and when I say politics, I mean like the politics that everybody thinks of. Politics today are totally different than what they were when I was a kid and when my dad was a kid and way back. Like, things have changed. And if you disagree, go back, go to YouTube and look up the debates from 50 years ago to the debates of today.
Yeah.
They are night and day different.
Yeah.
Guys tackled topics. They very rarely talked about. Actually, I just somebody brought that to my attention the other day. They're like, hey, it was like a really old debate. And the moderator essentially asked like what he thought about the candidate. I can't remember which side it was on. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the guy was like, I choose not to speak negatively to my competition, and will just address the question in regards to my personal opinion.
Amen.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because you had too much respect for the person who was in that position.
Yeah.
To throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. Just be adults, guys.
Can you imagine if somebody like your boss interviewed somebody and you're in that panel, right? Mm-hmm. Like so that's like a group interview and it's like you and like 3 other chefs, and that the person getting interviewed was like, well, Kim is horrendous in the kitchen and needs to be replaced ASAP. What?
Okay.
Well, that may be true. It may not be true. Like, we're not talking about her. We're talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that blows my mind.
Yeah, I can't handle that.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put part 1 on this, and then we'll revisit it.
We'll circle back.
There we go. Yeah. You got it today. You and your word choices are fantastic. Unbelievable.
Oh no, I did say rat's butt.
And here's what else we'll do. Yeah, that's true. Here's what else we'll do. We'll give you guys a chance to weigh in.
Yeah.
So like we always end the episode with like, what do you want to hear?
Yes.
So let's let people like weigh in and say, hey, this could be what you want.
But please do not ask us things like, how do you feel about Harris? How do you feel about Trump?
We're not going to give that to you.
We're not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
So just
do your homework.
Do your homework. Do better.
But if there's something where you're like, oh, I want this. Mm-hmm. Like,
oh man, I have a good story about politics too. It's interesting.
I bet you do.
But I can't share it because we've already been here for an hour.
All right. So don't forget to share your thoughts with us. We love hearing from you guys. Stories, questions, suggestions, all that stuff. Drop us a line, greaseandgracepod@gmail.com. Rate, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. You can reach out to us on social media. greaseandgracepod.com is the website. But the best way to get a hold of us is greaseandgracepod@gmail.com. Hope this episode wasn't too much of a cliffhanger. We'll get back. We'll circle back.
We'll be there.
Promise. And
I'll be there.
That's a great way to end. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.